Good day, everyone. Let me grab my second thing here for next week, just so I know what we're doing. Yeah, perfect. All right. I've got all of them made up ahead of time, so I have a whole bunch of them sitting up there. So, anyway, hello, my name is Laura Russell. I am a registered nurse, been in the nursing field for over 23 years now. I started keto before it was called keto in 1991 at 313 pounds. Thankfully, I had a crappy doctor, which pushed me and prodded me to go out and research my own health and diet and exercise and all the things that go with that. Back then at a library, back before there was internet. So Xerox copies, if that's telling you how old I am. So I did that, went all white food free. I got rid of everything that was a starchy vegetable, fruit, trying to think, bread, pasta, rice, sugar, all of it. So I got rid of all of that. I'm drinking hot cocoa loco because I'm freezing to death. It was 61 degrees in my house just a few minutes ago because the windows were open and it was cold today. So, anyway, I did that for 26 good years. I did raw keto, nothing store bought, just the real deal. Um, and then I went on to keto treats that came out. So the last 2 years of my keto, I destroyed my gut. Now, had I not done that, I maybe could have stayed. I don't know. I don't know. I was very limited on the vegetables I could eat that didn't hurt my stomach. I wasn't eating fermented vegetables at all then, though, either, except maybe sauerkraut once in a while. So maybe I could have stayed doing that, but I really, really enjoy this. So in 2019, first week of February, I went carnivore, and that's what has worked for me for almost 7 years. Although I will let you guys know, I have made some El Ruderai yogurt and I have tried that. And so far, I've had 1 cup every day. I have those little Pampered Chef glass dishes with the white lids that are a cup. I've had 1 cup for 2 days in a row so far. No itchies, no sinusy, no phlegm, no gastric upset, no nothing. So I'm hoping, and I used A2 milk, which Tara had mentioned, and that's casein. The protein casein is missing out of that. And a lot of people who are lactose intolerant, that's the protein that we can't tolerate, that we're intolerant to. So we'll see, maybe. And if that's the case, I will have yogurt at least 4 times a week. I'll try not to overdo it, but I know me. Not a moderator. So anyway, I'm going to get on here real quick and just see who all is here. Hey, Tara, how are you? And Dawn's here, and Erica. Hey, Erica. Cheryl is here too, and Janice. Angie is here from Oregon. Ooh, I'll bet it's beautiful out there right now. We're just starting to get some leaves changing colors. I think out in Maine too. I have a friend that lives out in Water. What is the name of her town? Water something, Maine. Same thing. Beautiful out there. All kinds of leaves. So yeah. Hey, rockin' keto. Hey, Amy, how are you? Hopefully you're doing very well. I'm just trying to warm up because 61 degrees in here when I just got home. I was like, whew. Tara says, try to moderate yogurt. I will try, but I'm not a good moderator. We'll see. So far, I've kept it to 1 cup a day. If that changes for some reason, if I develop, any of the issues, it won't be hard to moderate it because I won't be able to do it. But I really do like carnivore. I really, really like it. I like my fermented pickles every once in a while, my fermented sauerkraut, because I think it's good for the gut. But other than that, I really, really, really can eat meat every single day. And I can do eggs if they're pasture raised. So I always like that too. All right. Well, let's jump into tonight's This is something near and dear to me. So, a lot of you know I have made my own tooth powder for eons, well over 30 years, probably really close to 34 years. Yeah, because 91 was the last time I had like a little bit of a cavity where I'd cracked a tooth chewing on ice because I was low on iron. Go figure. And, but can't take iron. So that was fun. Anyway, so I ditched the fluoride back 34 years ago. About 20 years ago, I got into filtering the water so that I don't get fluoride in the water either. So that has really helped. Haven't had a cavity, haven't had any issues, and my teeth enamel is like crazy strong compared to what it was. And it should be getting weaker, postmenopausal woman, you would think it would be a lot weaker. So um, I have used it for a long time and I love it. And it's all different flavors. I do have somebody that wants lemon, and my brother says he wants lemon as well. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make a couple things of lemon. It doesn't sound good to me, but I do. I always make cinnamon, spearmint, and peppermint because I figure that's the flavors that most people want, and the essential oils that I put in are natural. So, okay, so rockin' Coach Amy said her surgery went amazing. I feel so awesome and not sick. I just took a pain med though, so don't trust what I say for a few. Oh, that's funny. Um, well, good. Yeah, I think being carnivore, keto, fasting, I think going into any surgery, no matter how minor or how major, I think that is the way to go if you're already in the lifestyle to where your body is in a state of trying to heal. I think that's a good way to go into it. So, Dawn says, I need to up my toothpaste. I'm all out. Hey, just so you know, if you bought my toothpaste powder, if you keep the container, I have refills on my channel. So, or on my website. So you can go and you can just buy a refill and put it inside there and save the plastic, save the world, right? Okay, let's see. Critter says, your tooth powder is delicious. I made my own from your recipe, but it's not as tasty. Yeah, I think, and I'm not positive on this, but if you followed the recipe that I did, that first video, gosh, quite a while ago, I think the salt I cut in half, I believe, from what that recipe said. I should probably do a new video, but I just hate for people to go out there and be like, she did the same video twice. What is she thinking? Like she's got some serious brain fog. But yes, I think if you do that recipe and you cut the salt in half of what my recipe said on there, I think it'll be better because I think that's what I have done because it seemed a little too salty for me. I didn't care for that. So let's see. Erica says, good to know about the toothpaste refill. I'm loving mine. Good. It's so amazing how shiny and clean your teeth get. And like when I go to the dentist, they're always like, you don't have a lot of plaque. Now, let's see, I've went to him one, two, three times in the last 3 years. The very first time I went, I had fasted. I was in the middle of like a 7 or 9 day fast and I was oxalate dumping. I had oxalate rash here in my elbows. I had it right here on my wrist, which is the place that I get oxalate dumping. And I had oxalate crystals in my eyes. And I had a ton of oxalate plaque. He said, it's very soft. It's easy to get off. It's not like normal plaque. And I said, well, it's oxalates. And he just kind of looked at me like I was cuckoo and had two heads, and that's fine. Um, but he does believe in my tooth powder, and his hygienist absolutely believe in my tooth powder because they use it on themselves. Although I still stand behind, I will give you a discount, mister, if you want to use it in your facility. Tara says, yay, we'll be doing that. Yes. Yeah, I think it was your idea, Tara. I think you were the one that said something about it. And I was like, yeah, that makes better sense. I'll just make refills. So that's what I do. Okay. So Critter's asking me, how do I use my oregano oil? So there's multiple ways you can use it. It's depending on where your issue is. I have a son who gets ear infections. So he takes his and he puts a couple drops in his ears and he puts a cotton ball in, especially like lay there overnight. And you can do that for a few days. It's gone. It will kill the bacteria. Um, if it's a sinus infection or you're starting to get that, you can take the Q-tip and kind of pull out the cotton a little bit to make it longer. And you can put, like 7, 8 drops on there and then put it up inside the nose, far up as you can possibly stand it, not quite to the old COVID days, but close. And then kind of press as you pull it out. And that kind of puts it up into the sinuses. And then I just sniff like that and get it into the sinuses. That works fast, fast, fast. Now, if you're somebody who gets, if you have bacterial throat infections, stuff like that, I have somebody who does inhalers and they forget to rinse a lot of times and they'll get a bacterial. They don't get the candida, they don't get the thrush in the mouth, but they do get like a bacterial infection in the mouth. And so I have them take that in with some water and some peppermint essential oil and swish and gargle with that and then spit that out. You can take it internally, but I would put it in something like a coffee, a tea, a glass of water, sparkling water. And you can do anywhere from just like 4 drops to a whole, especially like for UTIs, kidney infection, things like that. Internal is how I would do it. And you can do a whole dropper and it's safe for kids. There's never been anything they can see. I've never had anybody be allergic to it. And it also that we know of, been doing this a long time, never seen it interact with any medicine, including blood thinners. Everybody's always concerned about blood. And I'm like, nope, has no problems with that. You can also use it in wounds. So if you have a wound that looks infected, what I would do is I would take some either organic olive oil or fractionated coconut oil and put some drops of the oregano in that and then place that in that wound and do that every day. Leave it open as much as possible and then cover it for nighttime. That's what I would do. Rocket Amy says, I have not given up my toothpaste. Yes. Some people, they do like that paste. Now, what I have told some, like my mom, she prefers a paste over the powder. So she takes her container and she puts coconut oil in that. And then, so you kind of get two birds basically with one stone is you can do the oil pulling as you walk around and just swish and let that the bentonite clay do its job for the enamel and the xylitol killing the streptococcus mutans, which is the bacteria in the mouth that causes most all cavities. You're also getting the oil pulling effects of the coconut oil and then you spit it in the trash. So she does that to make hers into like a paste. It looks like mud when you make a paste. I'll just let you know. Let's see. Tara says, I wish it was me, but no, it was one of your other customers. Huh. I don't remember. I thought it was you. Huh. I don't remember who it was. Been a while ago, but it has really worked. I put quite a few of them up there online, and they're $1 cheaper to buy the refill than to buy the container. So if you keep your containers, yeah. So Erica said, "Oh, coconut oil. I do use that every day, so it would be good to combine." Yep, it would. Is xylitol harmful to pets? So you do not want to let cats or dogs get a hold of xylitol. It is liver toxic to them. So I would just make sure that wherever you keep your toothpaste, tooth powder, if you have that, or bubble gum, there's a gum out that's xylitol, is you keep it up where they cannot get a hold of it. Um, my cat was like sneaking around when I was making mine. And I saw her out on the dining room table that she's not supposed to be on. And I had like one that I was making for my brother. So if it gets a cat hair, it's okay. But she smelled it and she was like repulsed by it. And I was like, good. So I don't know if it was the cinnamon she didn't like, but she didn't even attempt to touch it. So, and she looks like a raccoon, so she'll eat anything. She's just like a raccoon, but she didn't even attempt to. But yes, you have to be very careful. Hey, Lorraine, how are you? Erica, why do you say to spit the toothpaste in the trash instead of the sink? So if you have municipality places, like if you live in a city that you have like, you know, not a septic system. If you have like the regular sewer system in a city or a town that's big enough, probably no big deal. It's just that the coconut oil, especially if you mix it with coconut oil, going down your pipes and it gets really cold, it will clog your pipes. So then the other stuff is not really good for septics because the xylitol is going to kill some of the bacteria and you need high bacteria in your septic systems. So I just say spit it in the trash. So that's what I say. Let's see. So Lorraine says, "Hey Simpson." Lorraine says, "My doctor wants to see me on the 4th of November about my cholesterol." I'll bet they do. That'll be an interesting conversation. I would just be very kind and ask them if they can show you the complete study that shows the benefit that he is going to puke out on you. If he can show you the complete study with abstract for cholesterol medicine doing what they're going to say it does and the benefits of it. He won't get it. He won't have it. And he won't even attempt to. I doubt. Okay. Excuse me. So, Rockin' Coach Amy says, "This is off topic, but a suggestion would be appreciated. Any tips to get rid of CO2 gas after surgery? It is so painful." Yes, I do. So, baking soda, take a teaspoon of baking soda and put it in water and drink it down. The other thing that you can do is you can do Epsom salt soak. So take a towel or washcloth and coat it in like Epsom salt and warm water and place that on you. The other thing is lifting up your left arm when you lay back. That pulls that open and allows that gas to come up. Then it goes over. It's like through osmosis, it'll come and you'll burp, and it will be the most horrific smell you've ever seen in your life. But that will help. That does absolutely help. Let's see. Good, good, good. Hey, Thomas. Good to see you on here too. Okay, so let's get into uh the issue why I started making my own tooth powder. So I call it the not so hidden dangers in regular toothpaste. So of course the number one that everybody knows I've preached about for a long, long time is fluoride. So it is heavily promoted, but they don't tell you that it's also a neurotoxin. And they say at higher levels, it can lower the IQs of kids. So when you ask what are higher levels, they can't really give you a number. They don't, they just say, well, higher numbers. Well, what's that mean? That's like saying 2 weeks to flatten the curve. What's that mean? Or you'll get it less bad if you do this. How do you prove that? You can't. Um, so here's the problem. If you look at the back of your toothpaste, it will have a number on there called poison control, and it will tell you that if you get more than a pea size amount and you swallow it, which most kids do, you are supposed to call poison control center. Now, if you live in a municipality with water, chances are the amount of fluoride in your daily water is way higher than that little bitty pea size. So for them to be like, well, fluoride once every 6 months isn't a big deal. Yeah, but you're getting it in your water. You're showering in it, you're drinking it, you're cooking with it, all of that. So how much fluoride are you getting? And like I said, they can't seem to give you a number of what higher level even is. Also, the higher level that they throw out there but can't tell you what it is, they're not regulated. It is not regulated. And I'm not all for like Big Brother needs to regulate everything, but obviously some of these things we can't leave them to the companies because they're out for profits. They're not out for people's health. It is profit based. Wish it was merit based. You remember the day where like if a chiropractor does a bad job, you don't go back and see him. How come we go to the doctor and 6 months later, "Oh, that didn't work, I'll give you another pill. Oh, that didn't work, another pill, another pill." We just keep going back. How come they're not held to that same standard of, "You don't do well, I'm not coming back." I think if more people did that, it would be good. Another thing with, fluoride is it is toxic to the thyroid. It really can disrupt the function with converting TSH into your T3, T4. It accumulates in bones and teeth, which does the opposite of what they claim. So they say that, it makes your enamel harder, which and makes you less likely to get cavities. Yet, if you look at the statistics of cavities, bad enamel, broken teeth, it's off the charts. It is sky high. So that is not the case. In fact, now they're saying that it causes skeletal um, mhm, how do you say this word? Fluorosis. Okay. So what that basically is brittle bones. So it's like you might, if you think of your bone like this, and here's the outer part, you might get a little stronger here, but the medullary, the inner part, is mush. No good. Um, it disrupts the pineal gland in the brain, which is kind of your sleep wake cycle. So it's really important for that. So that is my number one that I just despise and why I work so hard to come up with something that did not have fluoride. And I still laugh to this day because I had a dental hygienist who asked me, "Oh, what's in your tooth powder?" After remarking on, "Man, your enamel is excellent. You don't have any of this and you don't have that. And your teeth are so strong and you've had no bone loss around like the old filling, because a lot of times you'll lose some, then it falls out and you have to get another one. Nope, 34 years, it's still in the same spot. But anyway, I said, well, and I don't use fluoride. And literally, an adult female turned around to me and said, "You don't use fluoride? Well, we can't be friends." And I think if any of you know me, I said, I don't give a and I'm not in high school anymore and I don't care. Like, I don't care what you think. I know what I have done and what has worked for me. And over 1,000 people, probably 5,000 people at this point. So I don't care if you like it or not. So that's just me. Another one, which is a foaming agent, which is sodium lauryl sulfate. A lot of times you'll see SLS on the ingredients. Sometimes they'll spell it out, a lot of times they don't. So it can be very irritating to the gums and the mucous membranes. You'll see that so if you look at your mouth and you see the color of your gums and your mucous membranes down below your tongue, and then you brush with one of those that has that foaming agent and you rinse it out and spit it in the trash or the sink or wherever you spit it, and look at the color of that after you've done it. I mean, it's like it just sucks the life out of it. The other thing is if you have active mouth ulcers, like say you ate too many tomatoes, if you eat tomatoes, then I mean, it's very irritating to those areas. So artificial sweeteners such as saccharin. I mean, didn't we have enough trouble in the 70s with saccharin? Why are they even still when did it get allowed back into our food? I guess that's what I don't understand. And then aspartame, of course, it has no nutritional value. It may trigger an insulin response. I think I have heard people say that it does to them, and other unknown long term effects, such as it ruins your gut bacteria if you get too much of that in there. That's why I do the xylitol for the mouth and have you spit. Um, the xylitol, I mean, if you ate tons and tons of xylitol, it would also kill the stomach bacteria. So, not good to do. Triclosan, which is not in all of the toothpaste, but I did notice it's in some of those that are considered healthier, more clean versions. I have seen that in there. I think one that was at, what's the name of that place up in Iowa City? Whole Foods, maybe? I think it's not Trader Joe's. I think it's Whole Foods. Theirs has it in there. So it's an antibacterial agent, but it's like an antibiotic. It kills all of it, the good and the bad. And we all know we got to have some good in there. It contributes to antibiotic resistance, which we already don't need. I mean, babies are getting erythromycin eye goop the minute they're born, whether their mom is strep B positive or not, because why not? Let's just throw it in and give them some antibiotics within an hour of them being born. Sounds like a perfect plan. Another thing is microplastics and polyethylene beads found in some brands as polishing agents. They are not biodegradable and they also can cause gum irritation and gut permeability. So the only toothpaste I remember ever having these little beads was Aquafresh. I don't know if any of you guys remember Aquafresh, but that is one that I did look at. I'm going to try to catch up on comments really quickly and then we'll finish up. Let's see. My first batch of Rooterite will be ready. Oh, cool. I guess I should go back and read it. Gosh, you guys are good. Look at you. Okay. Hello. So Lorraine says her first batch of Rooterite will be ready at 10 o'clock tonight. My second batch, because I just made a teeny tiny batch because I was chicken. Um, my second batch is in there right now, and I think it'll be done tomorrow morning at like 6:15. And then I'll jar it up and put it in the fridge. Kat says, I used to be a dental assistant many years ago and I fell for the fluoride lie. Well, the sad thing is she can believe, I'm fine with her being like, I love it. That's great. But to turn around to me at 54 years of age and tell me we can't be friends because I don't do fluoride, I don't give a flying, you know what? And I did say that to her because, yeah. Darlene says, I love all the flavors of your tooth powder. Well, thanks. Simpson says, I've been doing Laura's tooth powder recipe for probably over a year now. I may have to add some coconut oil, though. Yeah, try it. My mom loves it. Loves it, loves it. And my teeth are white, but I will tell you, I do the Coco Loco, but I put hydroxyapatite in mine and then I use the aluminum-free baking soda, and that does whiten your teeth. So I haven't had any trouble with that. Let's see. Darlene says, yes, I went to the dentist the other day and no cavities. I have a minor amount of plaque because I haven't had my teeth cleaned in over a year. Oh, wow. Good for you. And that, yep, you moved to another city in 2024. Remember that. Let's see. Rockin' Amy says, we spent $4,500 last week. Oh my gosh. On a new crown and a bridge for my husband last week. This topic is raw. Yeah, my husband has I think that's what it's called. No, not a bridge, where you can take it in and out and it fits over your teeth. I don't know what the hell it's called. I don't know. But anyway, he's got something like that. And he spent like $2,300 to get it done. And he eats Oreos still, and it's okay. Sometimes, Robin says, hey, Laura, your video finally popped. All right, good. I'm glad you're here. What type of yogurt did you say you make? Can you spell it? Oh, it's L. Reuteri. Ooh, I'm going to look that one up. I have the recipe written down, so I should be able to find that for you. So it is Reuteri and then yogurt. And it's very simple recipe, very simple. So yeah, Robin, let's see. Oh, well, thank you. Let's see. Are you going to Keto Palooza 2026? I am not. Keto Palooza is during deer season. I wanted to go so bad. In fact, I was on, I think, a live with Russ a few months back, and I was like, that sounds perfect. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then he sent me like the link, and I popped on there, and I was like, that's deer season here in Illinois, and that's like 50% of our meat. So can't go. But I am going to do the one in May. I don't remember what it's called. I think it's in North Carolina. Anyway, I'm doing that one. And then Robin Heron is having her meetup again this next year. I believe September 5th, somewhere in that time frame. And I'm going to go there and I'm going to speak. I'm going to be one of her speakers there. So those two events I will be doing next year. Let's see. Hey, Jill. Yes, you do buy my powder. I do. Yes. So Critter says Iowa City has no Whole Foods. What is it then? No, no, no. Never mind. Not Iowa City. Coralville. Sorry. You're right. It's like 2 miles outside of Iowa City, but yes. Yeah, so it is like they've got the great big mall. I think you go about 6 blocks. I don't know if that's east or west. And then it's on the left-hand side. They've got a Whole Foods, and they've got something that's similar to that in Fairfield as well. I've never been to a natural, like anything named Natural Grocers, but I had the wrong town. It's the next town over. We go to Iowa City, but we go to see our asthma doctor, who's going to get fired in December when we go see her. So Amy says she is totally making this. I think you mean the El Rotary. Um, oh, Robin has a premiere tonight. Yay! Good. Oh, yep. And Robin likes the cinnamon flavor. Yeah, actually, I sell a lot of that and peppermint. Spearmint, I have my same people who buy that over and over again, but I don't usually keep as much stock of that one up. Um, yeah, partial. That's the word. Thank you, Robin. Partial. That's it. Yes, he has a partial. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Or Amy, sorry. Guess you got that. That was right. So Amy says El Ruderi. Yep, Tara partial. Ba, ba, ba. Yeah. Yeah, Robin, put your information if you want in here for your event next year. That would be awesome. Can you imagine? If we had everybody come to that. That would be amazing. It would be super cool. So let's see. Simpson says, I was checking out her site today. It looks interesting. Tell her I subscribed to her channel. Uh OMG, I'm in South Bend. Oh, so that won't be too bad. Kalamazoo is where she lives. So yeah, let's see. Because wasn't feeling well. You're only an hour and a half for me. Oh my gosh, you guys have to get it in. Pioneer Co-op. Can you look to see if that was ever called Whole Foods? Because I feel like, or maybe it's Fairfield. I don't know. It's one of those where everything you go in and buy is wrapped in plastic, but when you go up to the counter, they look at you like, do you have a cloth bag? They don't even, I mean, this place didn't even sell like the brown paper bags. And I'm like, you don't have a plastic bag? And they're like, no. And I'm like, everything in your store is wrapped in plastic. I was like, seriously? So anyway, a little crazy. So good to see you too, Robin. Oh, perfect. I'm glad you are subscribed. That is wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so let's finish up on this and then I'll go over a little bit of what we're going to discuss next Monday. So another thing that is in the toothpaste, most of these that you see commercial, is glycerin. Now, this is not considered non. It is considered non-toxic. That it's not that it causes any true damage, but it may coat the teeth and then prevent them remineralizing. So you should be able to remineralize your own teeth a little bit from your saliva. Some of that should go up there and be able to remineralize it. So if you're putting a waxy coat across there, then you can't get that remineralizing stuff to work. So that's how that one kind of blocks it. Um, like I said, my main concerns are the fluoride. So because they're an endocrine disruptor, they affect the thyroid and it looks like some of the reproductive hormones, they're seeing a decline with people who use lots of that. Bone health issues, it makes the bones denser but more brittle. Neurotoxicity, Harvard studies link fluoride to lower cognitive function in children, which, if it's lower in children, when those children become adult, isn't it still lower? Or do we all of a sudden like, nah, we caught up? I don't think we would. Doesn't make sense to me. So, cumulative toxicity, that's where I say like you get the fluoride there, you get the fluoride in your drinking water if you're on municipality water, you get it in your shower, you get it when you're cooking, if you're using water, you're getting it doing your dishes with your hands, all of that goes in there. So it is stored in tissues and stays for a long time. It does not flush out easily. I will tell you a way to do it. So dental fluorosis, which is those white or brown spots that you'll see on some people's teeth. It looks like they have like a bunch of plaque, but it's not really, it's these spots. That is from too much fluoride during their childhood that affected their teeth. So I'm not going to give you the amount because I don't remember off the top of my head, but you can go out and look this up for yourselves. But borax, boron, taking some of that every day helps bind and pull that out and then get rid of it out the backside later on. So that is something I would go and look up. Okay. Let's see. Food manufacturers use fluoride containing water products like soups and soda contain fluoride. Another reason to not consume these foods. I would say you are correct. So if you don't use fluoride, they suggest bone loss. I don't know what you mean by that, Darlene. I'm sorry. If you don't use fluoride, you're going to have less bone loss and especially like joint issues. I would say if you look at most people between the ages of 65 and 80, you notice how all of them are getting these joint replacements. Everybody's got 2 knees replaced, a shoulder, a hip. Why? What has gotten in there and degenerated these? I'm sure it's a multitude of many different things, but yeah, my bone scores are off the chart. Of course, I take K2D3. I was told I had some bone loss. I'm 74. Well, what I would recommend, and I'm not a doctor, and this is not medical advice, is I would make sure that I would have your vitamin D level drawn. Hydroxy 25 is what that lab is usually called. I would have your vitamin D level drawn, and I would shoot to be between 80 and 100, regardless of where they say their ranges are, because they'll tell you 30 is totally fine. 30 is not totally fine. If you want your immune system to work, your vitamin D to go into the bones, it will not. So you definitely want it to be between 80 and 100. So that's what I would do. All right. So let's go over next week's talk that I'm going to go over. So I'm going to go over different types of fasting or feasting before workouts. And everybody's kind of different on how they do things. And I'll kind of go over what I do and then what my husband does. There's definitely a difference between the women and men when it comes to what we're going to discuss next week. Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate you guys for being here tonight. And I will be back next Monday. All right. So if you like this, hit the like button. If you want to subscribe, that'd be great. If there's anybody you want to share this out with that has questions about the fluoride that's in their children's toothpaste, this is a good one to send to them. They already have enough crap going into their system. Thank you, Critter. So yeah. All right. I appreciate you guys. As I always say, even though I hardly discuss meat, is meat, heat, eat, and repeat. So I will see you guys next week. See ya.